Howdy BookTube. Let's talk about the Kricket series by Amy A. Bartol.
I got my ticket for the long way round.
Amy A. Bartol is an indie author who self-published the first book in this series and then was picked up by 47 North to do the next two. She has an editor, but when I looked up 47 North, it looked like it was some sort of an imprint from the Amazon self-publishing conglomerate, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works, but I do know she has an editor and some other things. So anyway, this is a really great series. I met Amy at Utopia 2014, and you know, she's a wonderful person, and I bought the book on the merits of the title and the cover because it's gorgeous. She signed the book for me when I got it, and so I brought it home and I put it on my shelf and forgot about it. Saw that it was on audio and narrated by Kate Rudd, whom I love, and so I listened to it and I thought, why did I not pick this up earlier? I love this story. I love this main character. I love everything about it. So the first book is called Under Different Stars. The second book is Sea of Stars. And then the third book is Darken the Stars. This, let me tell you about the story. The main character is named Kricket, which is why it's the Kricket series. Kricket is a tall, platinum blonde-haired, violet-eyed girl. She's 5'10", and she is an orphan who has been surviving the foster care system for a number of years. She's 17 and not very far from 18, so she is trying to age out of the system while evading the authorities, as it were, from the foster care system because she doesn't want to get thrown back into it again. She's finished high school, so she has gotten accepted to the University of Michigan, and she's hoping to go to college in Chicago where she lives. So she has a part-time job as a janitor cleaning buildings, and then also lives with a roommate who's a little bit older who is a waitress in a bar. And so she also works in the bar, kind of gets paid under the table to run errands, go get stuff, wash glasses, that kind of thing. So she's on her way home from her janitor job one night, and she gets approached by three very good-looking men who are very tall. The guys on the train are tall and dark-haired, but they have the same eyes she has, and that's how they recognize her. And they tell her that they know who she is, and they want to take her back home to pay for her crimes. She's like, what? So she tells them she's completely someone else, and they say, oh yeah, right. And so she runs away, and she's at her job at the bar later that evening, and she runs into another guy. This guy in the bar also recognizes her, and he has the same color hair as she has, but different color eyes. He has green eyes. So fortunately, her friends help her get away from him, and then she, in the process of running away, she basically runs right into the other three guys who then kidnap her and take her to this other planet. Well, turns out she's from the other planet. So she gets taken on this long trek to go to the main government of the place where the three guys are from. They're all soldiers. They are Trey Alaris, she's Kricket Hollowell, Trey Alaris, and then you have Wayra and Jax. And Wayra and Jax are just two additional kind of special ops kind of soldiers with Trey. So it's the story of the way they bring her to this government central place and then what happens afterwards. That's Under Different Stars. Sea of Stars pretty much goes through everything that happens after she gets there. And they're on their way to somewhere to kind of have safe haven and warn people that a war is coming when Kricket again gets kidnapped. And then in Darken the Stars, it's about what happens after she gets kidnapped by the guy who was in the bar. His name is Kyan. So what I love about this series is, first of all, the dialogue in these books. The dialogue between Wayra, Jax, Trey, and Kricket in this over the course of their journey across, it's called Ethar, across Ethar to get her to the main government building is hysterical. She is so capable, spunky, independent, not taking any crap from anybody. She might be the standard tall, 5'10", Viking-looking model, But on Ethar, their gravity is a little different because their planet is bigger, so it rotates slower, so the gravity is less. So they all grow taller. Everything is bigger and taller. And so she's like this short little tiny thing. She only comes up to the shoulder of Trey. So she's really a midget in their world, which I'm not sure how that works because she's from their world. But anyway, maybe growing up on Earth kind of, shrunk her down somehow. But that's so funny. Another thing that's really funny about this book is that the words that they have in the language on Ethar, they coordinate with a lot of English words, but they're not the same word. So where you have a word like fire extinguisher, they call it a snuffer. Or you have a word like dollars, and for them it's fardrooms. And she gets injected with a translator chip. They all have them, so that they don't have to actually speak the language to each other. They speak and they are understood by each other. So, the translation chip has its limitations, and it just provides for a lot of hilarity and a lot of entertainment, just flat good entertainment when they're talking, and especially the way that Kate Rudd voices these characters. So thoroughly enjoyed the dialogue, and I really have enjoyed the characters, Kricket in particular, because I think she's a good example of a girl who is a good character for girls. She's a good character to be admired because she gets it done. She can get it done, and she doesn't really need the help of all these other guys. Now, the politics of what happens on Ethar and the general societal structure is such that it is dominated by men. So if you are a feminist, don't read this. This will just make you mad. It will just make you mad, even though Kricket really fights that and really rises above that, and even educates some of the women on the planet about the value and the capability they have within themselves to fight that and to change it. So really loved the first two books. This second book, Sea of Stars, is full of action. It is full of action. She's running away from Kyan. She's with Trey. A war starts. All kinds of things are blowing up, and chases, and all kinds of great stuff. So this is a really fun book, and also involves another trek across the planet. And then Darken the Stars. Okay, this one, I pre-ordered it on both audio and as a print book, and I was looking so forward to it. It came out in September, and it went a completely different direction than I thought it would, first of all. Second of all, it would have been okay that it did that, but what happened along that path I thought could have happened in a completely different way. And I felt like in this book, we had already established Kricket's character in these first two books. And in this book, she was written in such a way that didn't follow the way she'd been written here. She completely changed. And now some of that change was due to her circumstances, but I think the circumstances in this book shouldn't have caused her to react and do the things that she did in this book. I thought those things betrayed who she really was. And she becomes the person in this book that everybody is willing to sacrifice for the greater cause. And that was just sad. And so she had to struggle with really her identity and her place and what she thought was, going to happen, her own value to herself and to those around her. And so it ended well and true to the character of Kricket, but it didn't end well. I really thought it could have done a better job of ending. I thought it could have, ended better. I just didn't like the ending. I didn't really love the book. I love the characters and I love the world, but I didn't love the book. I didn't love the story in this one. And a lot of loose ends were left at the end of this book. So there has been a lot of conversation between Amy Bartol and her readers about the way this ended and the possibility of a fourth book. So essentially, if we can generate enough buzz about this series and talk her publisher into letting her write another book, she probably will. She may write another book anyway and just self-publish it. So I loved this series. I loved it. I gave this one 5 stars. I gave this one 5 stars. This one I gave 4, but it was a 3.5 rounded up. And I really gave it that on the merits of the whole series. I love it. If you like this genre, you will love these books. You will love these books, especially if you listen to them on audio, because Kate Rudd is able to voice the characters in such a way that they're so true to who the character is. You know, you really get a good sense of what's happening, and you're just thoroughly entertained by the conversations between them and the action and what's happening and all that kind of thing. So absolutely loved it. Please read it. Please support this author and read these books because they are just wonderful. That's all I have to say about this series, and I hope you'll give it a try. And that's it for now for me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
When I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.